All right, today we have my good friend Wynne Briscoe with the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center. And we get to learn about everything that SBDC does for the businesses. They help businesses from start to finish. And my favorite part is we get to hear the story as to why Chris's nickname is Mr. Potato Head. So tune in. Today, we have my good friend, Wynne Briscoe. Well, both of our good friends.
Very much so.
We both know Wynne very well. With SBDC, also known as the Small Business Development Center.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
You got it right.
All right, good.
So, what is the Small Business Development Center, Wynne?
The Small Business Development Center is the United States premier resource partner under the Small Business Administration that offers no-cost business consulting and training services to entrepreneurs and small businesses that are 500 employees or less.
Okay.
You heard that free,
Free.
right? No
Yes.
charge. I heard no charge.
There is
right?
I
no
think
cost.
most people like free.
I know, it should, I know, we're just,
True. Well, we say no cost because it is your taxpayer service.
Right.
So it's coming from your county, your state, and your federal taxes.
Not
Nice.
truly free, but you're not paying for it.
well, right.
Correct.
Individually.
Not
yes,
directly.
Not directly,
Correct.
yeah.
So we're encouraging people, since you're already paying for these things in your taxes, to use your tax benefit. There's so many services in this country that as a taxpayer you are paying for that you don't realize that you're not utilizing.
Right.
So we're always out doing outreach to encourage people because SBA doesn't really have a marketing budget. So, because it's a federal agency. So we always want to let them know, no matter what state that you're located in, if you are on American soil, wherever you're watching this from, because we know that the BayNet is global. So wherever you're watching this from, if you're on American soil, there is a Small Business Development Center office in your state, in your region, even in the territories, the islands. I always tell people that's my retirement plan is probably
You're gonna work there in the islands.
the
Yeah.
Virgin Islands or Hawaii. There's SBDCs that are there.
How do you get that assigned?
I know, right?
I've met quite a few of those staff when we go to America's SBDC, which is our annual conference where the entire country comes together, and it's always a great time. So Virgin Islands is like, we're hiring, and I'm like, one of these days, or Hawaii is like, we're hiring,
Yeah.
So to consult beach businesses and tourist businesses is a lot different, than those here in Maryland. But we want to let them know it's a much larger resource than just a county or a state resource, which most people think we are. We're a federal resource, and so we're under the United States SBA and created by Congress. And from there, the money goes from federally, from your federal dollars through Congress, and then from there out through the states, and the states get a pot every year as a federal grant, and then it goes from the state level all the way down to your county level. Thus, it brings us to Southern Maryland, and we're Southern region, and our state of Maryland has 6 regions. So I'm the director for the Southern, and we have a region Eastern Shore. We have a region in the middle of the state, which is called Corridor. We have a region that's further up north, our northern region, our western region, and then we just carved out a Baltimore region, which is just for Baltimore County, Baltimore City, because the density population was just so much. They have their own region and their own director. So there's 6 directors in the state, and I'm one of them. I can't believe I'm the youngest director, right? And the state, which is a huge deal, because you've got to be in this for a while, but community and economic development has been my life for the last 21 years, and just helping people, they come to me and they're like, I got an idea in the shower.
Yeah.
Because that's where ideas happen.
It's funny is I always I've had people come to me and they're like, I have this idea for a small business and I want to do it. I'm like, well, you need to call. I would say, sorry, just saying. I just say call Wynne because I've known Wynne long enough.
Right.
You need to get in touch with Wynne and see what's available to you, because I've learned recently there's a ton of things that are available to you if you're thinking about starting your own business. That's where you start, really. It really is. If you're thinking about it, you start with a small business development center, and they can actually help guide you in what you maybe should do, and kind of help you build your platform for what you need to do.
Yeah.
It's a really good springboard to get started and do what you're doing.
All right, so tell us what that looks like. So somebody shows up on your doorstep. I'm sure that's not how you take clients, but and they say, "Hey, I have an idea. I need help."
Yeah.
So what
we
what
start
is the
you
process?
from just the idea phase all the way through your exit strategy. So we're with you the entire life. It's a long-term relationship, basically. So idea, you connect with us. We send you templates to get you started. There's no cost here. Give us the basic. Even if it's a business plan, give us some financial projections. What are you going to do about your marketing? How are you managing this business, right? SBDC is known for the three-legged stool: money, marketing, and management. Everything to run a sustainable business falls under those three legs, okay? So some business owners are stronger than others in different legs. Some people have a great marketing background, but they don't handle money well, right? Some people are like, we've got a great team, we're good at managing, but we don't know how to handle our money, right? Or our marketing. So those three legs, like a stool, you need to have strengths or you're gonna have some unlevelness. And we get you started from scratch, all of your paperwork started, whether it's, everything from your business plan to getting your financials together, helping you with research, helping you with getting the idea really kind of fostered, and is this even a realistic concept, right? Walking you through some market research, walking you through your demographics, making sure you're stable there. Once you flush that out and you're ready to move forward, depending on if you're a service or a product, based business, whatever your industry is, helping you with your next step. Are we looking at permits? Are we looking at buildings? Doing site selection? Everything in that phase, going from accounting to legal.
Built-in business consultant.
Pretty much.
Everything.
At no cost to you.
At no cost.
Right. That's pretty huge, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So, I want to say it's actually really good for our community as well. Like if you think about it from a different perspective, right? I think it's really good for our community because you're going to have businesses that are stronger and they come out the chute like more prepared and better, more effective for the community.
And more likely to stick around.
More likely to stick around and be successful.
Because you could have marketing and management, but if you don't know how to manage your money,
then you got a problem.
Yeah, you're not going to stick around very long.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many businesses I've seen fizzle out throughout the years. And it was obvious that they had a good concept, they had a good team, but then they just didn't make it. And it's usually just because they weren't managing. They got caught up with taxes or whatever else because they weren't paying attention.
It's like that plumber that worked for the other plumber, and then he goes off to be have his own business, and he has no idea he's a great plumber.
Yeah.
And he's a great plumber, but he's missing. He's a technician. He's missing the other pieces. I saw it all the time in the construction world.
Good book on that called The E-Myth. One of my favorites.
Right. Yeah, that's a good book. Yeah.
Have you read that?
It's true, right? So you might be good at what you do, right? How many people come to us and want to start a restaurant? Because they're a good cook.
Right.
And I'm like, a restaurant has nothing to do with cooking.
Yeah, exactly.
A little.
Little.
Right.
I get it. Yeah.
But a restaurant has a lot to do with managing people and managing money.
Yeah.
Okay? Marketing, if you have great food, word of mouth will take care of that.
Right.
Okay? But can you handle money?
Or coming on our show.
Yeah.
Right? So, I'm tasting everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's really the key. But they think they're a great cook. So let me go open up a 5-star restaurant.
Right. Yeah. Right.
No, I think that's a really good example because I feel like most of the businesses that I can think of that failed were restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it sucks because in a lot of cases they did have good food.
Yeah.
They had a good product, but just running everything else. And a restaurant, I would not want to run a restaurant. I mean, there's
a lot of work.
Well,
a lot of work. You got to watch your margins.
Yeah.
The margins are very thin, so if you're not
agree.
paying attention, you could not be making any money.
But it doesn't mean that you can't. I mean, some of the other, I know you have success stories,
Absolutely.
right? Like I know
there
she
are
has some great success stories.
But you got to watch the numbers, and that's where most people fail. I think in any business, that's where most people fail. I can't tell you, I've made it, part of my journey has been helping other business people too. I think you know that. And I like to get with people, sit down, learn about their concepts, see if I can give some ideas that might help them, see if I can help make connections for them that might help them. And when I start to peel the onion back, for some folks, it's like, you don't really even know where you're at.
Right.
Like you're doing good, but you don't even know how good because a lot of businesses operate like this. Well, there's a lot of money in the account. Must be doing all right.
It's kind of like they come in, they're like, I'm gonna do charter flights to the moon. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do charter flights to the moon, and I can do this.
Yeah.
And then you're like, whoa, hold your
But then all of a
horses there,
sudden their
buddy.
accountant gets, they're like, here, figure this out.
Slow down.
Yeah.
And the accountant's like, well, you didn't make any money.
Yeah,
What do you
right.
mean I didn't make any money? There's money in the bank account.
Yeah.
But
You didn't
owe
make
all
any
these
money.
bills over here.
Correct.
So I think that's probably the best advice for folks is, get on the money and make sure you have the other two legs figured out too.
Well,
So,
and that's how we help a lot of existing businesses,
Yeah.
right? As they always say, that, great success and sustainability is not how to show me how to make money, but how to help me cut costs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So I may be making the same income year over year over year. Okay, but guess what? I need to be netting more because I need to be cutting the fat every single year.
Right.
So when you are
which is probably one of the hardest things to do.
but you've got to do it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you had like a nugget for any like small business, this is a curveball.
One
Wynne.
nugget.
Yeah, if you have, it could be 2 or 3, I don't care,
Okay.
but at least one. Well, if you had like one nugget for like somebody who had this brilliant idea they really want to move forward with, besides contacting you guys 1st, right? What would it be?
One nugget I have for every entrepreneur is be coachable.
That's a really good
That's
one.
so good.
As a consultant,
Yeah.
I can't help you when you're not willing to receive.
Yeah, that's so good.
I've been in a coaching
Yeah.
program for a long time, right? I don't know if you caught the tail end of that conversation because I was on a coaching call before we came in here. But the owner of the coaching program, I'm about to become a coach
Right.
very soon. And the owner of the coaching program said, Mark, why did it take so long? He's like, I wanted this for you 5 years ago. And my answer was, well, it took so long because the first 5 years that I was in the program, I wasn't coachable.
Coachable. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't coachable.
I get that.
It's
They told me what to do. I thought my way was better. I didn't want to listen to what
Right.
anybody had to say, and I just was not moldable
That's
and I
so
was not
true.
coachable. And I have a 6-year-old, and my 6-year-old, he's big into football and sports and all this stuff, and he's super competitive, and it's been something I've been trying to flip the switch on here recently for him, is that he is very not coachable. Now, granted, it probably has a lot to do with the fact that he's 6,
Okay.
but I venture to say that a lot of us hold on to that mentality throughout life where you get frustrated with the result and you don't want to listen to what somebody tells you need to do to change it.
This
Which
is my
is-
chance to throw him under the bus, right?
Oh.
He just said he himself wasn't coachable, and he questions why his son isn't very.
Oh, I don't question it. I know where it came
I was
from.
saying nothing.
I'm not
did you
ashamed.
hear
I knew.
my
I saw it
silence?
a mile away.
I know where it came from. Trust me.
Right?
But, the goal in life is to help those that we love not make the same mistakes that we did.
Right.
Absolutely.
I get it.
Breaking those
So
cycles.
if I can break it early on with him,
I got you.
At 6, start to instill with him that he has to be coachable, he has to be moldable. And it's funny because we were bowling this past weekend. I'm off on a tangent, I know.
It's okay.
And he was getting frustrated because, of course, he didn't get a strike every time. He's
right.
6, right? But if he didn't get a strike, he cried and kicked and screamed. And I tried to talk to him. He didn't want to hear it. He said, I know what I'm doing. I'm like, okay.
At 6,
all right.
he's
Yeah.
a pro.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
exactly. But after that, I had told him, I was like, look, if you want to be successful at anything, you need to be able to listen to people who are trying to help you. And I said, you need to be coachable. Then we were fast forward a couple days later, we're in the car.
Yeah.
And he goes, so Dad, tell me about this being coachable. What does that mean?
Oh, okay. So he heard.
So it opened up a conversation.
It resonated.
So
right?
I love that. It's the
That's
first
the-
business
That's by the way,
tactic.
that's a really good. I think
Thank
that's
you.
so good.
I'm telling
yeah.
you, over the years, I have seen so many people with great ideas,
Yeah.
but they're not willing to take wise counsel, and entrepreneurs are the fastest population to rush to failure that I've seen in my life.
It's like a sprint to failure.
Because they
failure.
always have this FOMO, right?
Yeah.
And there's always this anxiety that I needed to get started last week, but I'm not even prepared today.
And I don't even know
You're
where we're
rushing.
headed.
Don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow,
Nothing. Nothing finite, right?
but I got to
And
start it now.
Yeah.
I got to be
and
open
when
now.
they call us with that level of panic, right? They have that level of urgency in their emails. And so we always say, take a pause, provide us your plan, right? And everyone thinks that a business plan is outdated. Now, let me
Now,
say this.
how many of them never do that? 'Cause
Oh, my goodness.
So many, right? You say, hey, come up with your plan. Here it is. Fill it out.
Yes.
And then they do like, I don't want to do I ain't got time for that. I need to go
Right.
do this over here.
Right.
Like, that is like,
We'll send them a boilerplate template. And this template is a quirky template, okay? But this template has gotten multiple $1-million SBA loans. Okay? So it's going to be a quirky boilerplate template. But guess what? Take out
When it's done.
what's there, put in what is applicable for you, and send me back a masterpiece. Okay? If you're not willing to commit to the planning process, I guarantee you're not going to be successful in your business. It's
or
just,
never obtain the level of success. You
Correct.
can only be so
Right.
successful
Correct.
by accident.
Correct.
And I think that that's what, for me personally, that was a big thing, a big flip, or a big switch that flipped for me personally, was that I was, to some extent, naturally good at what I did, and that got me so far.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
And I struggled for like 3 years to try to figure out what's going to get me to the next level.
Oh, yeah.
And it really was just being open to change, being willing to do the work of planning, working on the business instead of in the
it.
business.
Another conversation.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so there's so many places that we can go with this. And I
Yeah.
love
Yeah, I
it because
know.
this is stuff I'm super, super passionate about.
Yeah.
But
it was it, right? Trying
Yeah.
to tell existing business owners or even startup entrepreneurs, they know what they know, and to just be able to say, hey, take a beat and let us give you wise counsel in a process that we know has been proven, right? And SBA has the stat of 80% of businesses fail in the first 2 years, and restaurants 90%. Okay, so we know,
huge. It's a big
because this
number.
is the data that we run, because we know what we do every day. We know that you're a great plumber. We know that you're great with construction. You know what you know. You could
he
be a
is
great
good
cook.
with construction. I'm not a good plumber. though.
Right, but
Yeah.
whatever you're
I'm just kidding.
I don't know that I'm not great with construction. Let's put
whatever
that out
that
there.
you're great at, right? We're not saying you're not great at that. And we're not saying you don't know this because you might have experienced this. We're not taking that away. But what we're saying is, if you want to make this a legitimate business, right? Because you can shoot from the hip, just like
Yeah.
you said. You can
And
go
you
out
might
there
be
and,
successful.
and you can side hustle it all day
20% of
long.
the
You
time.
might do okay.
You'll be successful.
But-
But you're going to be way more successful if you go there and
That's
you
really
plan.
the
and you
key,
plan.
right? Is the success and the sustainability.
Yeah.
You may be on fire for 3 years.
right.
I've watched you from afar. We've been friends for a long time
Yes.
now, and I just know some of the businesses that you've helped. We've talked about them in the past, and
Yeah.
and honestly, that organization lifts up these businesses and makes them stronger. And I think that that's something that, like I said, if you're an entrepreneur, I'm going to put you I'll do the sales pitch but I think if you're an entrepreneur, the smart thing to do for any business right now is to go there.
Is to plan.
Is
Yeah.
to plan.
Go
Go
and
get
plan.
with them. Get with Wynne. That's what I always say. Get with Wynne and figure out what it is that what you need to do and how you need to plan it out.
wise counsel.
Yeah,
It's true.
here's the thing. What do you have to lose?
It's not.
Right?
I mean,
Think
it
about
costs
Like
you
you really
nothing.
have nothing to lose.
Literally.
Just a little bit
We're
of
like
time.
the only agency, honestly, that was intentionally created to help you change the trajectory of your life.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If you think about that,
That's
like
amazing.
Yeah, it
with
really is.
intentionality, because there's not. I mean, agencies are created in this country all the time where there's really no forethought. I can say
Right.
that. Right, and you're like, what were they thinking? What was really the end game for this
Right.
organization or this agency? But we created with intention to be the hands and feet of SBA, because they knew they were more, in the office, right? They do come out and they do outreach, but it's not every day.
Right.
So we are the hands and feet that are literally helping you from start to end, where people came to us and say, okay, we're ready to sell the business.
Yeah.
What's our exit strategy? And I ask entrepreneurs all the time when they start their business, when
What's
you
your exit
start,
strategy?
Yeah.
what's your exit? And they
That's
are
actually an
like,
important
we
question.
have
People
no
don't know.
People
idea
don't
how
know.
we're going to exit our business.
That's the biggest
And
one.
I'm like, well, you know what? Don't be rude to your customers and just die.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that's disrespectful.
Right. No, that's
Right?
actually a really good way of putting it.
Are
I mean, like,
or
if
are
you
you just going
built
to close
this,
your doors?
How many
Yeah.
people in our business?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
it's notorious.
Let's
in
talk
our-
about succession planning with real estate
Yeah.
agents. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, it does
Well,
not.
I'll
You're
tell
right.
you, I've had a plan for a long time that I haven't executed on. Which sounds like
It's okay. You can
That's what
call
it
me.
is. Yeah.
but my plan has been to create a succession plan for real estate agents. You know what the problem with real estate agents is?
Tell me.
Ego.
I was
Yeah.
going to say it, but
Because the
coming from you,
succession
it
That's a
sounds
lot. That's a
like-
lot of entrepreneurs
Yeah.
too. That's a lot of entrepreneurs too.
No, but it
Us-
really
yeah,
is
but-
ego and
Yeah.
pride. They don't
Yeah.
want to turn over their
Their
they've
business
built.
to somebody else. So
Yeah,
they
I
just
get
let
that.
it die
Yeah, that's
instead.
true.
Yes,
They just
exactly.
let it
You're
die.
right, and that's how is that good for your
And it's
your
like
customers?
if you could
It's
link up
disrespectful.
with somebody like myself or Chris
Yeah.
that has a proven structure and a proven system and a proven process that that your customer is going to get taken care of.
Correct.
Why wouldn't
Why
you
would
do
you do
that?
it? Right.
Why wouldn't you have a conversation and do that? And at least, like, even if you go all the way back to a referral basis, and a lot of people do that. They go on referral. They say,
Right.
"Well, I'm going to give my referrals to so and so,"
Right.
but they're not working them.
Right.
They're not connecting with their sphere of influence.
Right.
They're not seeking out those business opportunities to be able to refer.
Right.
So it still naturally just
It
dies.
just closes.
But if you could plug your sphere of influence into a proven process, proven system with real touches that then in turn would actually generate more referral opportunities for you and put more dollars for you in your pocket in retirement.
Right.
Why
It
wouldn't
just
you do
makes
that?
sense. It's just like, but this is,
But it's the forethought. Again, it's intentionality. So it's whether or not this is a hobby for you with a fly-by-night idea,
Right.
or if this is someone that's serious and they have intentionality behind it, where they're going to take the time and plan it out. So
Right.
that's your start, folks. Your seasoned folks, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We got a lot of them that came back in when COVID hit,
yeah.
right? Tons. It was
Yeah,
an
I'm sure.
influx of all of these old, businesses throughout the region that said, hey, we haven't communicated with you in 10 or 15 or 20 years.
Well, my succession plan is exactly the one that I'm selling, right?
Got it.
So what I'm talking about right now, like this is the first time I've ever said it in like a public format.
Okay.
But where other agents could essentially roll their sphere of
Right.
influence up under me.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
My plan is that at some point somebody on my team is going to take over my team.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do, I will continue to get a residual check in the same fashion that I would give a check to an agent who came up underneath me.
Yeah,
right
and that,
now.
I mean, I've
It's the
actually
same
done
thing.
this. I've
Yeah.
actually
You've
done
had
that.
agents that-
I've done it for agents I was their exit strategy.
Right.
Really.
Right.
And it was very successful. Just to be honest, it was super
Yeah.
successful. And I think that. I think we just don't always know what the opportunities are too. That's part of it. You
Much
know what
like
I mean?
not knowing that SBDC exists.
Exactly.
It's true.
So-
But you also have to be willing
To seek them.
You got to be willing to do it too.
right?
Because I'm pretty sure SBDC can be found in a pretty quick Google search.
It's very true.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Local business resources near me will
Yeah.
probably get
you them.
you to win.
Well, most people
but-
don't realize SBDC exists until they need us, right?
Right.
Because just like anything, you don't need something until you need it.
Yeah, it's
You're not
funny.
looking
well,
for it.
and need is an interesting word,
Yeah, well,
right?
it's
Because
true.
people don't need a coach, people don't need a mentor,
Right.
but people need a coach and they need a
Need a
mentor.
mentor, right.
They do.
Right?
They do.
So
They do. And
if
our
they want
network
to get
is,
to the next level.
is so amazing because
Yeah.
as consultants, this is what we do all day long.
Yeah.
But we're also entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Right? So many of my coworkers, this is how you know that this program is amazing, right? Is that my coworkers are professional consultants and our own businesses are with our other consultants.
Right. Nice.
Right? So you can't be coachable if you can't be coachable.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so
Amen to
for
that.
even for me, for my businesses, my consultant is Bill Hitty, our consultant in Charles County.
Yeah.
Right? So we practice what we preach.
Right.
That's great.
So it's not that I'm out here just telling you need to be, with us and use our service. No, literally all of us, we are
You're
entrepreneurs
going through the process
at the core. And
which I think is
do you
important.
know what
Yeah.
it's like to be a professional consultant and have your coworker review your business plan? You know the redlining that happens?
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
He holds me to a whole different
awesome.
standard.
Different level.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah.
that's part of the reason why I've wanted to be a coach in my coaching program for so long, because it's the same thing.
Absolutely.
When you're a coach, you're still being coached by the other coaches.
Coaches,
who are
right?
your
Your
equal
coaches are being
counterparts.
coached.
Yes.
But what happens is when you rise to that level, you're being held to a completely different standard.
Yeah.
The accountability goes
Yeah,
way
way up.
up.
Mhm, I
And
agree.
whenever accountability goes up, production goes up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an easy recipe.
Yeah.
So you have a cost-free opportunity at accountability and partnership and wise counsel for your business at your disposal, a phone call away.
So, what's the easiest way for people to get you?
Honestly, sbdchelp.com.
DChelp.com.
It's very easy.
Before we wrap up, I got to ask, how did Chris get the nickname Mr. Potato Head?
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh boy.
You can hear her laughing.
This is
So,
good.
so do you want
No,
me
go
to
ahead.
say
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's not
this is a
bad.
family-friendly show?
I heard this before we started.
You can tell the whole story if you. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, so for people who don't know, we were all realtors or agents with the same brokerage. And do they know who your brokerage
Century
is?
21.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you tell people online. So Century 21 New Millennium would participate in the Veterans Parade every November, correct?
That's right.
And so they would pick the theme every year, and they would tell the agents what the theme was, and that year was Toy Story, right?
The float.
And
we did
the
around
float through Leonardtown, and it was great parade. And so
See where we're
it.
headed.
And they had costumes.
correct. So
Yeah.
they provide the costumes. And, who wants to volunteer? They're sending out the list. Okay, great. So we signed up, and what was left were the 2 potato heads.
Mr. Potato Head.
And Mrs.
Potato
Potato Head.
So we decided to
Very
be
nice.
the Potato Heads in
Awesome.
the Veterans Parade. And it worked out great until Chris, because for those of you that don't know, the Potato Head costumes, the pack comes as a duplicate. Okay? Everything is in my kit that's in his kit.
Okay.
Okay? And so just like a potato head,
That-
you
you have
just
parts.
swap out what is applicable for that particular potato head.
Okay.
Okay.
See where we're going.
And so Wynne had all of her parts. Okay. But Chris.
I was missing parts.
Chris lost his parts. Okay. So Chris came to me and was like, "I need your parts." So then I said, "I'm going to give you my extra
Parts.
but this is it." Right? Because there's only so
There's
many
only
parts
so many parts.
in a pack. And so in the office, it has become the running joke where I was fully dressed with Mrs. Potato Head, and he had my parts.
Mr. Potato Head with Mrs. Potato Head parts.
It was
man.
very true.
I'm not even going to go there, but there's
Good.
a lot of fun places I could go.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're not going to go there.
We're not
because
going to go there
You're going
today.
down now.
Yeah, that's right.
But through the office,
Payback,
it was
right?
a run. The pictures were, he has the pictures.
Yeah.
I'll let him send you the pictures.
Yeah, some great. We got some great pictures.
There, yes.
We'll
a
have
lot
to
of
share
fun.
those with our audience.
It's a lot of fun.
Just saying.
We have some. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, cool. Well, I
Well-
think we're good to wrap up. So,
Yeah.
sbdchelp.com.
.com.
Yeah, and we're on social. So for people who are on Facebook, people who are on LinkedIn, you can find us. You can just Google search Maryland SBDC, and you'll, wherever you are in the state, find the office that's closest to you.
Boom.
Or if you're out of the state of Maryland, just go to Americas with an S, SBDC, and you'll find a state office that's closest to you, and you can put your zip code in. It'll find an
Awesome.
office right
Awesome.
closest to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
And,
thank you,
Thank
Wynne.
you so much for your
Absolutely.
service for these businesses.
Yeah,
So-
it's good stuff.
Absolutely.
It's
It's
amazing.
our life's work. And so I tell people, you do not have to call Wynne. There is a full team, okay? And no matter where you are.
We'll never do that,
I
We're gonna be like,
I
"Call Wynne."
understand.
SBDChelp.com.
Please know that there is an amazing team that can service you throughout the region, and it doesn't have to be Wynne. Wynne is looking to retire and transition.
Got it.
To the Virgin
Islands.
So, into other things. So, Wynne might not be, on staff when you
Got it.
are. But our staff is amazing, no matter who you get.
Great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.